Hi, and welcome back to my journey. I know it's been a while. Um, I had to slow my tapering down um, because I just, was feeling like crap. And my daughter brought us home the back to school bug. So, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm a total baby when it comes to being sick to begin with. So being in withdrawal makes it even worse. So I basically held um, I just got back from my doctor's appointment and I've been aiming at 1 milligram per month. This month I only made a half a milligram. So since the last time I did a video, I may be down a milligram and a half compared to my last posting. I don't remember, but I think I'm at 26 and a half, a little less than that actually, but it's close enough to call it a half. I was really hoping to be at 26, but that's life. Um, I've been seeing, and some of the people that I've, kind of stayed, when I say I stay in touch with people, it's, it's off and on. It's not like I sit every day and talk with people, but there's one gentleman in particular who he knows who he is. I don't want to mention names because nobody's given me permission to do that, but just finished his taper. I think it's been 4 weeks. Congratulations. I'm extremely happy for you. Um, I've actually seen other people on YouTube who've been talking about um, actually where they're at, post taper, and it's still encouraging, but it's also um, a little disheartening sometimes when you see people that are a year or two out and they're still having issues. But I did talk to somebody who I do speak to quite frequently, and her comment was, if you were where I was at, even though maybe that day she wasn't having a very good day, you'd be thrilled. So um, I guess everything is relative. And I think that's what she was trying to convey to me as well. Um, I said I wouldn't come on here unless I wasn't feeling well. I mean, like even today, I don't have the crushing fatigue that I've had. I don't have, and I also said I really wasn't going to go. But this is my journey. So over the last month, people have asked me as I've come down, have I noticed it's been getting harder? My answer, let me preface my answer with yes, but one, that may just be where I would have been at anyway. My body's healing, doing whatever, because again, this journey is not yours. And that's one of the things that even as I watch other people's, I feel myself getting sucked into their journey. And even if it's a good thing, like, it's like I finished, I've seen a few people that are, done now. And there's a bit of jealousy, which is really completely uncalled for because I am genuinely happy, even with people that I don't, again, some of these people I don't personally know them, but I feel like they are friends and they will be, not just because we're experiencing and going through the same things, but just because they are. So I am genuinely grateful that they're better. But at the same time, then you put out this thing, well, you're not doing enough. And it's just all these, you point the finger at them, but all these fingers are coming back at you because you start to compare yourself and then you start to do the math and the time, and like right now I'm at 26 and a half milligrams. I want to come down to a milligram a month. Ideally that's still 26 months, 26 and a half months, whatever. But I don't know that. I've seen things. Actually, I wanted to be, since this is my journey, I wanted to be a little more honest that fear, um, fear of being alone, just fear, panic. I've had some panic attacks, which everybody has panic attacks, but these are the, the ones that you stay with you. I mean, so the next time you start to feel a little anxious, I mean, it's like this haunting ghost that comes over your head, which also led me to realize over the last month really how much our minds really do play a part. And I know some people right now are just turning me off, but it is true. I can feed. I mean, there's times when you have a panic attack and or just overall crushing, fatigue and anxiety, and there's really nothing you can do about it except just breathe and try to get through it. So I guess part of my talk that I wanted to say today was to the people out there that have gone through this or that are going through this, my utmost respect for you. I know I've said that in the past, but every time I kind of think that, oh, it doesn't get any worse, it does. Um, and not for long always. And I don't know. And again, I don't want to really say that because that doesn't mean that's what next month's going to be or the month after that. But it's just this is difficult. Um, I'm not crying, although I've cried. I've thrown things. I've given up. There's been times when you just have this feeling of defeat. But it goes away. I just saw a YouTuber, and I honestly don't know who he is, but I saw where I think he had been cut off from the gist that I got was he was cut off from his doctor, and he was in a really bad place. I mean, I literally, as I watched it, I could feel everything that he was trying to emote from this very short video. But his very next video, which was a month later, you could see the life back in his face. You could see color back in his face. You could tell his eyes were droopy, and you could tell that he had that crushing fatigue, and he even admitted that he did. But then he said that he was actually still able to continue he was able to start continuing his taper, which just lets me know. So when I get to that point where it just feels like all is lost and I can't do another whatever, that it passes. So yeah, that was good. There's another gentleman. I'll put it in the link if I can remember. His name's Frank, and he's from Wisconsin. I say it because it's interesting. One, he's done 2 videos and has, like, I don't know, 50 subscribers or whatever. And it's not what this is about. What's interesting is because he's finished. But he said something, because I know people look at me and they're like, okay, you weigh all the, like, what, $150 if you're soaking wet. But he's a contractor, or has been most of his life, right? Or maybe his whole life. I don't know. But he said, as a guy, it was nothing for him to lay 300 brick in a day, really exertion stuff. And now that he's in benzodiazepine withdrawal, taking out the garbage is a big deal. So for me, and I'm not being sexist, just as a male, it just made me feel really good to look at this person who is obviously much larger than me, which I guess is an issue that I need to work on. Because I've lost some weight. I'm still losing some muscle mass because I can't work out and whatever. And so, we live in a society that's all caught up in that, and I'm guilty of that. But to see somebody like him who's younger than me, seems larger than life, although I know he's going through, some 7th layer of hell. And just to have him say, taking out the garbage is a big deal. It gives me that little bit of reassure. I mean, I'm completely sorry. I believe his name's Frank. So if I have that right, if he ever does watch one of my videos, it's God bless you. I don't mean it in any negative way. I just mean it was really nice to hear that, because it gave someone like myself, who isn't going to go play, a linebacker for anybody, even though when I was in high school I used to think I could. But anyway, it just gave me the nod that, yeah, you're allowed to feel that. You're allowed to feel as weak as you do. You're allowed to feel what you're feeling, because it's a part of this process. Now, again, as I'm going to keep saying, it doesn't mean everybody that's going through this has it. I mean, I actually, there was another gentleman who posted on YouTube who was basically saying this is all made up. And I really wanted to comment on that, but I realized, you know what? He has a right to that opinion. He's been posting for way longer than I have. His journey is completely different than mine. And if he believes, and he said he's been on Benzies and come off Benzies and he's never had an issue with it, I believe him. I believe people do that every day. What makes the subset of us that, can't? Time, maybe. I'm fairly certain I've been on it longer than he was. I feel like I've been on it longer than most, but again, but you can't get caught up into that, because that's one of those things. If I look at the statistics of how long I've been on and blah 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 blah, there's no point in trying statistically. But at the same time, that's because, again, the negative thoughts in my head are, I mean, somebody says, well, there's 60% of the people don't get off. Well, 40% do if they meet, the little box that I put myself in with time and how much I took and whatever. So it's funny, you don't look at the 40%, you only look at the 60 because it's a bigger number and it's the bad side. Or and it's funny, or even if I look at, I mean, little things in my life where it's like, if it was 10% are only the ones that don't, you still focus on that 10. You don't look at the 90. Um, I don't know. For each person that's reached out to me, and there hasn't been a lot, and I'm not saying that to be whatever, I'm just saying because I don't want people to think that I have all these people that just reach out to me all the time. They don't. But for the ones that have, thank you. It means more to me than you'll ever know. I've tried to reach out to a few people because I really feel like I know what it does for me when I do that, and I know, and I'm doing it genuinely from the heart. But I've just been so down that it's been tough for me to really sit behind a keyboard and even making this video. I have no idea when I'll post it. I mean, I wasn't even going to push record, but I had to go to the doctor today, so I actually combed my hair and took a shower, and that doesn't mean, hey, look how good looking I am. It just means I'm clean and I don't look like a complete whatever, which that's part of my journey too. So maybe I should just turn on the camera one of these times and just be like, look, this is what benzodiazepine looks, withdrawal looks like. But it's not where I'm at the moment. So I still would prefer to come on, even like Jocelyn said, when she had a good day, even though she, if you look back at her videos, she looked very sick. But to her, that was a window, so that's when she did them. So I could have come on just even a week ago, and I would have looked like a lot of the people that you see. And that's not a bad thing. It was, for me, it's a trigger, and it was just one more thing to add to my thought process of doing this, because it's difficult to sit in front of this thing, in front of this camera, and talk about this when you really, I don't have, I mean, like, people have asked me, what are you doing? What do you take? And I'll go back to right now, I'll say L-theanine, Pharma-GABA. Obviously, I do take some CBD oil. Again, I don't really know what that does. I see a holistic doctor, which that one's my bad. I really have needed to see him. I have an appointment next month. Right now, that's as soon as I can get in. So we'll see what he says, because usually he finds a little something that I can tweak. I've been trying to mess with my diet, but I haven't been very hungry, so that's kind of whatever. So really, I'm just rambling. I just wanted to come back on here and say I'm still here, still pushing through. I am down. 26.5 is nothing. I'm proud of myself. It was a really, really rough month, and yet I still came down 0.5 milligram. So I have to give myself credit for that. No, it's not where I wanted to be, but it's where I'm at. And again, this is the journey that I'm on. So this is where I'm at. This has been very tough. I'm saying, and I keep saying this because when I look back at this, I want to, it'll remind me of what I've been through. I had to get rid of a car, very first world problem. My wife's car lease was up. I can't drive. There's no point in spending money on something. So right now, not having a vehicle is tough. I'm used to walking out in the garage and at least seeing something there. I think that added to a lot of my thinking about being alone and whatever. And I think that's starting to subside. I'm getting used to the fact that financially, I know I made the right decision, and just for right now, it's the right decision. But the title of my thing is learning to let go. So I had to let go of a lot this month, a lot more. Every time I think, I don't have to let go of anything else. You have to let go of more. You guys, I think most of you know, I have solar in my house. We have an electric vehicle. It's a Volt, but I would, right now in a perfect world, I would be driving a Tesla or a Chevy Bolt or something all electric. That's where my heart is. That's where my passion is. But the joke of it is right now, I couldn't get behind the wheel and go for a ride. So doesn't matter that Teslas are $1 million at the moment. Couldn't, even if I could muster up the money, I couldn't get behind the wheel. So right now, I have to learn to be okay with that. And again, just learn to let go and trust that. They always say you need to make room of the old. Get rid of the old so you can make room for the new. So right now, every time I walk out into my garage, I can physically see that. Another thing that happened was there was about a 200-year-old oak tree that was behind my house, not on my property, that they just cut down. And I felt that physically. I mourned for that tree because I would sit out there and look at that tree, and there was birds and there was squirrels, and I think it was diseased, but I go out there now and there's just this big blank void, which I think it's like the universe again telling me, let go. One more thing, let go. Just trust. Trust that everything's going to be okay. And really that's where I'm going to leave this. It's just no matter where you're at, and especially if you watch other people's videos, you'll see that in one moment they'll be in a really bad place. And then maybe a couple videos later, the life has come back to them and they're a little, so this does. Everything has its time. And it's, there's waves and windows and all those things that we talk about. But yeah, just trust. Trust the process. That's what's been coming to me, is to let go and to trust. Does that make it any easier from time to time? Sometimes no. But I know the times that I really, especially if you're feeling some anxiety coming on and you're resisting it, that resistance, what they say, resistance makes stronger, is true. I'm not there. I don't know exactly how to do it, but I'm learning, which I think is part of the process of this journey that I'm on. And yours as well. We're not going to be who we were. And that's a good thing. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. Anyway, love and light to all of you. I really do appreciate every single one of you. I guess I'm over 100 subscribers now, which again, to me, that's sad and interesting at the same time. Also makes me feel a little obligated to be on here more, to feel like, because I want to help people, but I can't help people unless I help myself. So anyway, love and light to all of you. I love every one of you. Keep up the good fight. I don't even want to use the fight. Just let go, roll with this. We're all going to get through it. At 26.5 milligrams, I still feel like, some people don't even start at that high dose. But you know what? It is what it is. So I intend on breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth for a very long time. So I'm going to be here anyway, so might as well knock this out now and move on with my life so I can enjoy my family and my daughter and all of the things that I've been blessed with, including all of you guys. And when I do, I give you my honest, sincere, that I will make it my life's work to do something about this. I have a couple other ideas. I always have ideas for videos that I really want to do, but this one is just an I'm back video, and if I can get some more energy, then there's some ideas I want to throw out there and whatever. But thank you. This is getting long, and just love and light. I love every one of you, and thank you for reaching out. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for the more comments and likes and whatever. And I'm saying this not to promote my channel, but it does spread awareness. I get messages all the time of people who were going to take benzodiazepines and now are not, or finally realize that, oh, this is what I'm going through. So if not, any channel you come across, give them a like, give them a short little comment, anything that keeps this at the forefront of the analytics or whatever it is that YouTube does, so that people who need this information can find it. Love you all. I will talk to you. I'm not going to say anymore. I will talk to you the next time I talk to you. Take it easy. Bye.